Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady, where I help home business owners win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talks airs Monday through Friday, and when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the home business community. And so today, I want to talk about all the stuff that is going on around about all of this funding. Okay. So you're hearing about the grants, you're hearing about the EIDL loans, the PPP. You just got all this stuff out there. So I just want to give you a brief rundown about this. And let me say this: understand that this really is not a tax topic. Okay, are taxes involved? Yes, but this is really not a tax topic. When you're talking about loans and all of that stuff, we don't process that stuff. Okay. We help you prepare the returns that you have to give to your banks, but it's really not a tax topic. But I want to talk about it because there are a lot of course, my audience and my clients who are business owners and are really looking for, some guidance on this funding. So this one might get a little long. I will tell you that now. So maybe you can watch it on the recording and put that baby on double speed. Okay. So first, let's talk about the grants. I'm going to talk about the grants and everything because this is the first thing that came out from the Small Business Administration. So you could apply for a loan for up to $10,000. Emphasis on the up to $10,000. Okay. And the way that this was sold and the way that this whole thing has been sold is, throw your name in the hat. Money is going to land in your bank account within 72 hours. But let me tell you, that is not the truth. That is not how this has played out. So when you go to the Small Business Administration, there is a streamlined application, and you just check a box that says that you want to apply for the $10,000 advance. That's what the grant is, and that's based on whether or not you get approved for a loan. So if you apply for the grant and you get grant money and you get money and you don't get a loan, you don't have to pay back the grant. Okay. Now, for the small business loans, that leads me to the EIDL, EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Relief Loan. Okay, so this is a loan up to $2 million, okay, for economic industry. Um, and some of the eligibility is that businesses do not have to currently be operational if closed as a result of COVID-19, must be in a declared disaster area or state, which I think we should be there with all the states by now, but I'm not sure. Meeting the SBA small business standards, and agricultural businesses are also eligible for this. So again, up to $2 million. Now, the APR for small businesses is 3.75, and for nonprofits, it's 2.75%, up to a 30-year term, and the first payment is not due until 12 months after the funds are issued. Okay. So these are designed to be working capital loans, maybe used to pay debts, payroll accounts, and other obligations you may have had that you can't pay now, based on this whole coronavirus thing. If you get a loan, none of this is forgivable. Okay, so you're going to have to pay all of this money back unless you get a grant. Okay. And so you apply directly with the Small Business Administration, and then they'll make that determination. Okay. Loans over $25,000 require collateral. And okay, so that's all I know about that. All right. So that is the economic injury disaster loan in a nutshell. Now, what is really hitting the airwaves is the Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP. Okay. And this has been a train wreck in the application and the execution of the whole plan. So again, when this was sold, this was, fill out this application, you're going to have money within 3 days, voila. Our government was never designed to act that fast, like even on its best day. Like it just does not react that fast. So, so I really want people to get that out of their minds. Now, the Paycheck Protection Program, these are for businesses that are still operational and making payroll. fewer than 500 employees. And these applications are starting to be open now. Bank of America was first, other major banks followed, and even smaller banks have followed. Sole proprietors, independent contractors, self-employed are eligible for this as well. But the sole proprietor, self-employed, I don't believe those applications are actually going to be open and available and being reviewed until April 10th or later. So the loan amount is 2.5 times the business's average monthly payroll up to 10 million. Now, the problem with this is everybody got a different calculator, right? The math is just not consistent across the board, and that's just what it is. So just know that it's supposed to be 2.5 times the business's average monthly payroll amount up to 10 million. Exactly how that calculation is working out is still up for debate. Okay. The APR is 0.5%, and this is a 2-year term with no payments for the first 6 months. And this is for payroll costs, interest on mortgage, rent, and utility payments incurred from February to June 30th. And it is possible to have 100% of the loan forgiven. There are stipulations for that, though. So you're going to apply through an SBA approved lender. Okay, so again, what is happening with the execution? You know, this was sold as you just go apply. You go get an approved SBA lender bank and go apply there, and then you're going to get approved for all this money. But again, the execution is what is different, because these lenders are starting with, do you have a banking relationship with us? You got a business bank account? Like, what kind of, if you don't have a relationship with these banks to begin with, don't expect for them to be processing your loan application. Okay, like, this is not going to be your introductory relationship with these banks. So this is why I've always told you, you secure capital before you need it, and you build a relationship for small business owners, local banks. Okay, because you have, I actually attended a workshop that, with a smaller bank. And that's one of the things that she said for small business owners, that your best bet is to build relationships with local smaller banks, because there's less hoops to jump through, and the decision makers are generally, at least in the city, if they're not on the spot, to make a decision about whether or not they're going to lend you money. So one thing I will say, I think from this whole thing, a lot of lessons are going to be learned. So, again, what's happening? What's happening in the execution of this? So again, with banks, they want to know if you have a prior relationship. They want to see your profit and loss statement. They want to see your balance sheet. They want to see those previous tax returns. This is where the tax part comes in, because what's happening right now is business owners are scrambling. Business owners who have not filed taxes and all of that, now they're scrambling to go get all this stuff done so that they can apply for these loans. Lesson learned, right? File your taxes on time. But also, small business owners are getting caught because those books aren't done. And so what's happening, there's no books, or there's terrible bookkeeping. Again, the tax returns aren't filed. And so now you're reaching out to your tax professionals, you're reaching out to your accountants, you're reaching out to your bookkeepers and saying, I need you to fix this now. But the problem is you don't have any money. And you don't have any money because now of this whole economic downturn, and you can't afford to pay the cost. So when you're reaching out to professionals, like I said, your tax preparers, your accountants and bookkeepers and all of that, and you need 2 or 3 years worth of work done, you're going to have to pay 2 or 3 years worth of money. And what I'm finding is that small business owners are needing this help, but don't have the money to pay for it. And so now you're getting caught because you don't have the requirements to actually apply for a loan. The other thing is for self-employed. Now, the CARES Act says that self-employed can apply for unemployment. Now, this is handled with your state Department of Labor. The state departments of labor were not ready. we're not set up for this. So I know of self-employed people who have gone to unemployment, have gone online and applied and called and all of that stuff and have gotten denied. So, so you still gonna have to go through the process, right? Um, it just is what it is, because like I said, the state departments of labor, they were not ready, because even outside of the self-employed people, you already had up to 10 million people was the last that we heard that were applying for unemployment nationwide. And now you go add the self-employed people who ordinarily did not qualify for unemployment, that are applying for unemployment right now. So yeah, there's a lot going on. Now, one of the other things that I will tell you is a good idea is to start seeking other methods of funding. Okay, I get that these things are available, but the system is clogged, the system is backed up. It is what it is. When will you see the distribution of these dollars? I can't tell you. Like I said, I know the thing said, if you go apply and then poof, within 72 hours, you're going to have, money in your bank account. I don't know anybody that's gotten any of this $10,000 grant money just to deposit it into their accounts. Okay. And I know lots of people that have applied and no money has shown up. Okay. So that's really, that's what it is. So, so I will tell you to start seeking alternate means of funding, because it's going to take a while for this to happen. Even with the stimulus checks, those things are still in the works. They're still getting processed. And, people are like, well, how can I do this? How can I do that? The fact is that we have no control over the timetable, none at all. So even if you're rushing right now to get your 2018 taxes filed, at a minimum, your 2018 taxes filed, we don't know. We don't know how long it's going to take for them to get to your tax return and issue your stimulus check based on your tax return. However, if your taxes had been filed on time, that wouldn't even be a question, right? So that's what I said, that I believe that a lot of lessons are going to be learned throughout this time, not only about personal finance, but also about business finance. If you have not learned the lesson about bookkeeping before now, you're going to learn today. Okay. And I can tell you that the best thank you I got over the weekend was from a client of mine who is applying for loans and already had a loan with another place. And he called me. He said, I just wanted to thank you because you stayed on me about getting my bookkeeping together. And when the opportunity came for him to get a cut in his loan interest rate, he already had the documents ready, and all he had to do was submit, and boom, like that, his interest rate was cut, and he had, some more days, some interest-free time to make payments on his loan. So I'm telling you, if you don't learn anything else from this, get your bookkeeping together, get you some structured bookkeeping. Okay. Again, I get it. When you get started, you not necessarily have the money to get structured bookkeeping. You start on a spreadsheet. A spreadsheet is where you start. It's not where you stay. Bookkeeping is one of the most essential things in your business, because it's going to produce all of those documents that you need. The profit and loss statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow statements. That's what structured bookkeeping gives you that a spreadsheet does not. Okay. So that those are going to be the lessons learned. I think another lesson that's going to be learned is understanding that having the value of business savings. Okay. And, saving up money so that, when you do have, a disaster, that you have money set aside to fund your business. The business savings is important. Like, people want to, kind of look, when you say save money, it's like, save money, like, oh my gosh, right? No, you want to save money. You want to have liquid cash. You want to have liquid cash. You want to have, access to capital, so that when these things happen, that you're already set and you're not scrambling like people are right now. So this is going to be a huge teaching moment. And if you don't learn the lesson now, you will only repeat it again later. Okay. So, so yeah, that's the quick rundown. I will, add some links to this. People are asking like how to apply and all of that. Um, yeah, I'll add some links. Structured bookkeeping, yes, like QuickBooks, like Wave, like FreshBooks, Zoho Books, Zero. There's all kinds of things out there. Okay, I'm a QB girl. I admit it. I am a QB girl. But listen, it's not what I'm a QB girl. It's you find whatever works for you. Just get something. Okay, that's all I'm saying is get something to get your books in order. Okay, so that's it. So thank you guys so much for hanging with me today. I know this was a long one. Like I said, I'll add some links so that you can go and get information for yourself. Yeah, get those tax returns filed, get those books in order. If not for today, it's really for your future. Okay. So thank you guys so much for tuning into Home Biz Tax Talk. Again, we air Monday through Friday, and you can come right here to get your questions answered about your home business taxes. All right, have a great day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.